is up, fellow Sambarians? What is going on, fellow Sambarians? Today I was gonna do a little video on how to install fog lights on your Subaru Sambar. Let's fix this. There we go. Some of us don't get lucky and get a Sambar that already has fog lights installed. So the unlucky few, we have to find them and install them ourselves. So I don't have the wiring harness or switches or anything for these. I just picked up the fog lights. So I can show you how to remove the bumper, cut out those pockets that you do see that are shaped like this in the bumper, because these were designed to go in that bumper. I'm going to show you how to cut that out, and then there are usually existing brackets behind the bumper. They're just obviously did not come with the fog lights installed, and the bulbs and all that good stuff. So the bulbs are pretty basic to change in these. I realized that one of them was burnt out, so it's an H3 bulb. So it has that like plug that comes off for the power, and then you have the ground, the little ground chingus on the bottom. So make sure you don't lose that. So if you're gonna change the bulbs, you're gonna need that piece. I ended up getting some ordering H3 LEDs off of Amazon, so those are gonna be here tomorrow. But in the meantime, we need to mount the lights up, which is gonna take a good amount of time to do it correctly. So that's okay. You're not gonna see the lights turn on. Sorry. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow and do an update. But let's get these things hooked up. So test your bulbs, or take the bulbs out, take a look at them, see if they're still intact, or just swap them out with LEDs right off the start, which is gonna be a little less drag on your alternator. So I mean, it doesn't hurt to switch over to LEDs. LEDs are cheap and they're pretty good, and yeah, keeps the world turning. So kind of went over, if you want to pick up some fog lights, refer to that video, and it will kind of explain the process of how to get JDM parts. If you don't know how to do that, I know there's a lot of you that do, but there are a few that don't. So go ahead and check out that video, and that will help you acquire some of these babies. So these are the Subaru fog lights. I ended up getting these for 68 bucks or something. Kind of bummed, didn't come with the wiring. I knew it didn't, but it didn't come with the wiring harness and the switch and all that. But I'm just gonna rig them up to my running lights so they turn on, and just run all the time with my running lights. I don't care. I think more lights looks better. I don't want to be all incognito, especially in a K-van, Goober Chan. I don't want to get hit in that thing, because they'll probably end up having to bury me in the ground inside that coffin with wheels. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go out to Goober Chan and show you how to take everything apart. Okay, so here is Goober Chan, my 97 Sambar Dias. So I already yellowed out the headlights, so these yellow fog lights are gonna be perfect. But this is the pocket that I'm talking about, where the fog lights would typically go, and I think there is mounting brackets behind these. So let's go ahead and take this bumper off, and we'll find out what's going on. So I have it up on wheel ramps, obviously, make it a little easier. So there are a few places where this bolt, if you have a front license plate, there's going to be one behind the front license plate, right there. So, and fun little fact, This is BLCLSTD, not STD. It stands for blacklisted. I'm from California, moved up to Washington. So Blacklisted is the name of my sticker business, Blacklisted Customs. So I decided to put this on the front because it kind of matched with the yellow and the black. Yeah, so we're gonna take this bolt out. And you want to be careful when removing the bumper because there's like these plastic tracks on the side with a piece that slides in that track, and those have a tendency of breaking. If it does break, you can probably use some like plastic repair. It basically just keeps the bumper in alignment. It's kind of an alignment part, if you will. So let's get this guy off. So this van was imported, and it looks like he already had fog lights, and he had them just plugged into the running lights. So I think that's all we're gonna do. It should technically work, but if you want to go the real legitimate way, you're gonna want to run a relay to your battery and to a switch inside the cab. But I just want these things to turn on with the running lights. Should be kind of cool. Okay. Also, if you have to work on dirt or rock, like myself here in my ghetto carport, horse stall mats, rubber mats, those work great for putting underneath the vehicle. They're pretty sturdy. I got them from Tractor Supply for pretty cheap. Okay, so you have those 10 mils on the front, the 3 10 mils on the front. And then you got a couple underneath, or I should say you have one underneath. Now's a good time to check for rust too, because you're probably going to find a lot of it under here. I actually took the skid plate off and neutralized it and repainted it. Looks pretty good. Okay, so we got those. And also you're going to need to remove a bulb. You're going to need to remove the turn signals because there's one more 10 millimeter behind that as well. God dang. Crazy chickens, crazy ducks. So just go ahead and unplug your turn signal, which if you want to restore it, now's a good time. So here's what I'm saying. Part of the track that the bumper slides into, you'll notice at the end of on each end of your bumper, there's 2 little tracks inside. This broke, so I'm gonna glue it back in there just so it has some sort of guide still in there. I think it just keeps it from sliding up and down on the ends. Well, all our 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, 4 bolt, 5 bolt, 6 bolt, all have been removed. So we should technically be able to slide it straight out. You want to come straight out. You don't want to pull down because there's those tracks that you don't want to break. Try that again. Okay. There you go. Voila. Voila. So all of them, all the bolts look the same, minus the one underneath. The one underneath the car by this skid plate is this guy. He's got a little bit wider flange, and all the rest of them are Phillip head and flanged. So just remember this one, the only one, goes right back up underneath here. Okay, so the bumper has been removed. So just want to show you guys this real quick, which is kind of neat. I was talking about doing the intake when you clean the air box because it gets full of oil, and how to. She's laughing at me. Try to eliminate that. This is actually like the snorkel. This gets your cold air and it connects into the frame and then runs all the way to the back of the engine, and then it gets that air coming from the front all the way to the back. That's why if you do a cold air intake on the back, essentially you're just kind of sucking in hot air, unless you somehow figure out how to rig it up to scoop air as you're driving or something of that nature, blow cold air. But this is why it's good to just keep that air box stock, because you're running air from the front through your frame rail. That's what this little tube is, going to your frame rail all the way to the back. Kind of cool. And there's like there's actually like a little nipple up here, and you can probably squeeze that nipple and some dirt and stuff's gonna fall out of there. But that probably allows water, like a weep hole water, to drip out. So anyways, and it looks like this is how I get air into the cab. So if you're going to do the fog lights that came with the wiring harness and all that good stuff already, you would probably run it. You could find one of these grommets down here. This would probably be a good grommet, just any grommet that runs through the firewall. I mean, it's not really a firewall like a typical car, but follow one of these grommets into the vehicle, and that's how you could run your power source to your lights. But like I said, we're just going to be probably running the wires up through the edge here underneath these quarter panels to our running lights to kick the fog lights on. So let's take a look here. Yes, we do. Okay, so you have your bumper off. You will notice there is holes already for the fog lights to sit in. So basically we just need to cut out that pocket and then use those holes to run those screws in, and it will cinch down on those two panels, and bingo, there you go. So all the bumpers should have that. So you're already kind of halfway there. You don't have to try to figure out how you're gonna get it to stay in the bumper, because they've already got the mounting brackets back there. So now here comes the fun part. This is kind of cool. There's a tag of sorts. Not sure what that tag is, but that's neat. Take a picture of that, so if someone steals your sandbar, you can yank their bumper off and see if that matches your sandbar, if they change out the VIN plates. Okay, so now we're going to cut these holes out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Dremel, and we're just going to very carefully take out what we need. Don't go too much at one time, because we don't want to, you know how the saying goes, cut twice, measure once. Or is it measure once, cut twice? It's probably cut twice, measure once. So we're gonna cut this out and slip the new fog lights in with the trim rings. And that's another thing, if you pick up those fog lights, make sure you find them with trim rings, because that's what's gonna sit in here. I know there are some people that 3D print the trim rings. So if you do get a set of fog lights that have busted trim rings or don't have trim rings, you can reach out on the Facebook groups, in a Sambar Facebook group, and somebody probably knows of somebody who can print these trim rings, or the STL file might be out there on the internet somewhere. Just have to do some searching. But yeah, let's get to it. Also, I thought I would point this out while we're down here. I see this quite often, which is a little surprising, but then again, if you don't know what you're doing or what you're looking for, the horns. So when you have the bumper off, you could obviously take the skid plate off and get to your horns, but this is a horn. I don't know if this is aftermarket or not. Looks a little aftermarket-ish, but it's a good sounding horn. So that's a horn, and then that guy right back there looks like a little hockey puck. I can't really touch it. Right there, that is also a horn. So he's got some good hornage going on here. So yeah, if you're looking for your horn, that's where they're hiding and where to replace them. Okay, so let's get trimming on our bumper. I would say that looks pretty good. I got right up to the edge of that valley, which lines up with the edge of these brackets, which makes sense. And we'll see if she slips in that pocket now. Okay, so both are cut out. I accessed my Speedy Gonzalez mode and knocked that other side out in about 2 seconds. So they did come with a couple screws for hardware, but we're gonna have to do our own. But let's see how it looks. Yeah. Well, actually, I have that drying right now, but pollitos. Hey, cállate. So they are directional. There we go. That's better. Sorry about the chickens right now. I don't know what their deal is. Okay. Here we go. We have the fog lights set in. Perfect. Cut just enough. Don't get crazy. Less is more. Get those set in, and then basically they came with these long screws, so I am going to find similar ones in my box of tools, and it looks like we're gonna need a nut and a washer on the other side to hold them in. And then once you got them in there, they're good, and we're gonna just wire them up. Maybe I'll show the wiring. Maybe I won't, because I'm gonna make a lot of people angry, because I'm not gonna do it right. But if yours came with the wiring harness, you're just gonna plug these suckers in, run your wiring and up through one of these grommets that goes into the cab, and then, you know, out your dash in one of those little pockets that are the little covers. You can just easily pop those out with a little pick, or carefully with a trim tool, so you don't crack them or mess them up or gouge them. But like I said, I'm just gonna wire these in to run off of the running lights. But this is basically just showing you how to cut that out and use the existing mounting behind it. Get some screws with a bolt and a washer, a nut and a washer on the other side that will hold them in there, and bingo, you got yourself. And you got yourself some foglets. And the process for installing the bumpers is the same exact way. Make sure you slide it into those tracks. Mine broke, so I'm gluing one right now. Slide them into those tracks, and then that will kind of keep that alignment. And if your bumper is, let's say your bumper is a little wonky, the tracks on either end of the bumper can, I think they can be moved a little bit. So if you need to realign your bumper, you're gonna realign your bumper using those little tracks on each end of the bumper. So that's kind of helpful if your bumper's crooked. So just kind of, you know, measure from your gap to the top of the bumper. But yeah, I mean, I don't have the whole wiring harness, so I can't really show you how to do that, but you get the point. Hopefully that was helpful, guys. Again, if you're watching this and you're subscribed and all that good stuff, really appreciate it. I really enjoy making these videos, and when I see a new subscriber, I'm at 64 now, I think. It really makes my day. So cool. Thanks again, guys. Good luck and happy Sambarian.